Welcome to the ESL's Go4SC2 number 44 semifinals, sponsored by Steel Series. I'm your caster Kessel, and today we're going to have a game between Kas, who's going to be spawning as the pink Terran at the top, and he is going to be playing against Mardow, who's going to be spawning as a blue Zerg at the bottom. Now you're probably wondering where the intro went. I decided to bypass that because I spent too much time on it, and I think I need to work on my casting more than the intro. And as soon as my casting is up to par with other people's, then will I start putting in the intro again, because I spent way too much time on that. And this is going to be game 1 on xel'naga Caverns, and we'll see if Mardow will be able to beat Kas, and we'll see a lot of Zerg up in the finals, or if Kas is going to completely annihilate Mardow. I actually casted the finals originally, but the finals were really disappointing. I just didn't feel the need to cast them because I'll be honest, they made me mad. I'll be honest, as a Zerg player, they made me mad. I'll just say that now because I don't want to ruin it for you, for the guys who don't know how the finals ended up, and I won't tell you how the finals, who played in the finals, because I'm not a troll per se. But anyway, it looks like an early refinery going up for Mardow. He hasn't gotten his spawning pool yet, and he is just getting that spawning pool. Meanwhile, Kas is getting his barracks right now, and he does have that supply depot up, and he does have that refinery. And while we're kind of waiting for this game to really pick up, I wanted to talk about, it looks like Blizzard has been listening to his fans and looking at the stats of who's been winning and losing depending on which race. And it looks like Blizzard's going to be having a patch relatively soon. I'm going to assume either next month they'll have that patch out, and it looks like they're going to really buff up the Zerg. An example of that is they said they're going to increase the range of the roaches, which I am totally happy for. And Kas over here blocking off that drone from escaping with that supply depot. That Marine is just coming out, and Kas is continuing to produce Marines. He does have that refinery up, but he isn't getting that tech lab, and he is just completing that orbital command. Meanwhile, Mardow is continuing to drone up, and he is getting 4 Zerglings right now, and he is getting that speed. And he has pulled all his drones off of gas and going back to mining mining minerals. And another factory going up for Kas, and he is getting those Marines to kill off that drone over here. He hasn't gotten his second gas yet, so we might see Hellion play instead of siege tanks, because usually if you want to get siege tanks, you want to get double gas as soon as possible, because siege tanks are really expensive in the gas department. But if you just want Hellions, you just need that one refinery to get those factories. And it looks like Kas, it has pulled off all his gas miners from that refinery, and also going to go all minerals right now. Meanwhile, Mardow is getting that hatchery, that early expansion not that early expansion, but getting an expansion, and he is going to be producing more Zerglings, and he does have that queen out. He is getting more drones too, and that speed is almost done, and Mardow is content to sit his 4 Zerglings over here to keep Kas contained. Kas continuing production of Marines. He has a lot of Marines right now. He is going to have a couple Hellions getting pumped out of the factory as well. No reactor in sight. A command center being built inside Kas's base, and he is getting another barracks over here. And well, I completely lost my train of thought with the developers corner, and it looks like they're also going to increase the Zerg's building HP, so they're going to be a little bit harder, not a lot harder to kill, but they're still going to be, it's still a good buff. I think Zerg needs a different kind of buff, honestly. I think they should do a little bit more armor, as maybe for Hydralisk. Hydralisk should do a little bit more to armored, I think, but that is up to Blizzard, not me, because I'm not a developer. I'm just a student. I'm working on it, but I'm still just a student, and it looks like Marines and Hellions are starting to push out. Getting that xel'naga watchtower to get some sight over here. Meanwhile, a bunch of Lings hidden in the corner. And it looks like that lair tech is coming out, and those Marines and Hellions are going straight for the hatchery over here. The Zerglings are getting pulled back, and now the Hellions are going to start see that Mardow does have that early that hatchery over here, that expansion. And he's starting to burn a couple drones away, and those Marines are going to go try and run away, but those Lings are going to come up from behind and sneak up on those Marines and completely annihilate them. The Lings are chasing down the Hellions. Those Lings that are faster than Hellions because, I don't know, 4 legs. I always wonder about that. Hellions have wheels, and Lings are on foot on 4 legs, and nothing in the world, and on Earth at least, can beat something on 4 wheels. But I guess Lings just have that evolution that will allow them to run faster than cars. I wish I understood that. I mean, Hellions should go faster than Lings. Maybe they should make a Hellion speed. That might be something. Anyway, those Zerglings are going to still stay in the front to prevent Kas from expanding with his orbital command. His orbital command is starting to produce a couple SCVs, and it's going to start lifting up now and move over to the natural. But Mardow does have a lot of Lings over here, but Kas has that siege tank, and he has a couple Marines and Marauders, so he can probably push this Ling force away. And Mardow does seem to want to move back a little bit, and he does not want to engage this large force yet. Meanwhile, a spire going up for Mardow, it is almost complete, and it is just coming out. Siege mode being researched, another barracks being built, and stim packs being researched out of the tech lab. Mutalisk just coming out, and it looks like Mardow is going to start destroying the rocks over here so he can expand once again. Meanwhile, more larvae being produced, more Mutalisks being produced, and it looks like both players are content to macro up a little bit more. And Kas getting a couple missile turrets. I assume his scan went down, so he saw that spire. And he is getting a lot of missile turrets, and he has that starport already. A Bangling's nest actually going up for Mardow, and he is also getting an evolution chamber with that. So we're going to see Banglings and Mardow's play today. Meanwhile, more siege tanks getting pumped out, more Marines getting pumped out of the barracks over here, and a reactor coming out for another barracks over here. And it looks like Mardow is going to start trying pushing in with his Mutalisks, but there are a lot of Marines over here, and they do have stem now, so they will be able to catch up. His combat shields also being researched for Marines, and those Mutalisks are going to run straight into that missile turret and almost losing one of these mutas over here. But there are still several Lings over here that managed to come in without Mardow noticing. More missile turrets being built right now, as well as a couple medevacs. And it looks like centrifugal speed is also being researched. A couple Banelings being morphed out in the corner over here in the grass. And Kas could be in big trouble if he does not see this. If he walks over here and those Banelings just come out and explode all over those Marines, then Kas could be in serious trouble. Another expansion going up here from Mardow. He is getting that hatchery, and he is getting a couple upgrades. He is getting Carapace level 1 for ground army, and it looks like more Marauders and another engineering being produced. I assume that Kas is going to get double upgrades for the infantry forces that he has on the ground right now. Those siege tanks are going to be sitting here sieged up to protect Kas's expansion over here, and Mardow has a couple Banglings over here just crawling around, not doing really anything. And there are several mutas over here in this corner. They're gonna try and snipe out anything they can, but they're not gonna be able to get into that. And from that missile turret, those missile turrets that Kas is building, Mardow is destroying the rocks over here for the high yield now, so he's going to expand once again, and the Mardow is trying to push in, but those missile turrets are just, and those Marines are just keeping him out of Kas's base. Kas has a pretty strong perimeter set up right now of missile turrets, so I don't think those mutas are going to be enough. If you got a couple more mutas, he might be able to destroy those missile turrets, but right now he is getting a lot of Banelings, he's getting a lot of Zerglings, and he is getting more upgrades for ground mostly melee, it looks like. He is getting Burrow also, and he just finished that, and he is getting pneumaticized Carapace. So we're going to see some Overlord speed going on over here. And it looks like armor level 1 and weapons level 1 for infantry going up for Cass. And he's getting another command center over here. And it looks like an armory and sensor tower is also going up. So we're going to probably see a couple Thors over here in response to the Mutalisk. And there's a couple Marines still being built. A lot of siege tanks being built. And it looks like Cass is going to start moving out with his large force, try and destroy. And there are a couple banelings over here that Mardow does not know about. Banelings burrowed right here, so if those mutas are going to start pushing in and see. But oh, a scan goes down, and all those banelings do go out. The SCV was sniped out, so the missile turret was unable to finish, but there is a lot of Marines still, and their mutas won't be able to do much against that many Marines. An Overlord flying over here in case an expansion goes down here, and an engineering bay hidden behind the grass, possibly to spot any movement that goes on over here. There's an Overlord just spotting that engineering bay also. And it looks like both players continued to macroing up. Mardow getting the high yield now, and he has a lot of banelings and a lot of zerglings, and this could be really bad for Cass. But he does have those siege tanks to back him up, so Mardow might not be able to push past this unless he is getting that Overlord pathogen glands, which will allow Overlords to carry those banelings. But there are still a lot of Marines, so I don't think an Overlord carry is going to be effective. But an Infestor also coming out for Mardow, and he does not have fungal growth. He does not have. He just gets enough energy for fungal growth, and he is getting a lot more banelings now. Mardow pushing in, trying to get Cass's command center over here, but unable to after the missile turrets and Marines pushing those Mutalisks away. And there are still a lot of Lings and Banelings over here. He is Mardow getting another hatchery over here, so he has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases right now, and it looks like Cass's forces are going to start moving out. And he does have that Thor out, and he is starting to move out, and he is got, oh, a Thunder Fungal Growth actually goes down, and those Banelings are going to come in, and oh my god, they annihilate those Marines up front and get a couple siege tanks as well, and that Thor is going to go down. But Mardow does still have a relatively large force of Marines and siege tanks, but they are all heavily damaged from being stemmed up. More research going up on for the ground army, for melee level 2 and Carapace level 2. And it looks like another hatchery going up for Mardow, so he is getting macro heavy over here. He has got a lot of Mutalisks though. He's trying to snipe out those siege tanks, but there are a lot of missile turrets all over the place, and he's not going to be able to do much with those Mutalisks. More Lings being trained right now, and it looks like ventral sacs being researched. Wait, what? Oh, pathogen glands, sorry. Ventral sacs just being researched, and that is what will be able to carry Overlords. Pathogen glands is for, it's for Infestors, so getting that extra energy for Infestors. So that was a really bad, that was bad of me. And it looks like Mutalisks are going to come over here and snipe out